Welcome back, everybody. As we begin the argumentative essay, the first thing that we need to do is talk about the word argument, which of course is the root of argumentative. And what I really like about the argumentative essay is that it shows that a lot of people don't know what the word argument means. So we're going to spend some time laying this foundation and looking at some examples of argument. So this is the definition here of the word to argue: to give reasons or cite evidence in support of an idea with the aim of persuading others to share one's view. Now, you'll notice that I put in all caps here the important part. And it's so important that I'll go ahead and underline it as well. Right? Now, copy this down, okay? It's going to save you some points. Copy this down. When you argue with someone, you want that person to do what? Agree with you, right? That's what the word argument means. It's better thought of as a debate, right? When you have a debate, you have two sides, right? Two people, and they're giving reasons, citing evidence in support of their position of an idea. And their goal is to take that person on the other side and do what? Turn and agree with them. This is what an argument is. It's not fussing, it's not fighting, it's not yelling and screaming. Fussing, fighting, yelling, and screaming is just fussing, fighting, yelling, and screaming. It's not an argument. Why? Because if you yell and scream at someone, they're not going to share your point of view. They're not. They're going to dig in or just walk away. That's not going to happen. So, what we're going to do next is look at some examples of improper use of the word argument. So again, what we're doing here is we're just laying the foundation. We're talking about what the word argument means because most people don't know what it means and they use it incorrectly. So what we're going to do is take a look at these different examples here and see if these are correct uses of argue. In other words, we just looked at what the word argue really means, that you have to persuade someone to share your point of view. Okay, so A, this is really common, right? Every fall. I argued with my brother why Carolina's football team is better than Clemson's. Is this a correct use of the word argue? What do you think? It happens all the time. People argue about football all the time, right? Is this a correct use? No. Why not? Remember, look in your notes. What did I write in all caps and underline? To persuade, that's right, to persuade others to share your point of view, right? So with that said, is a Clemson fan ever going to take all of their Clemson gear, all their Clemson hat and their Clemson jersey, all those orange clothes, throw them away, and then dress in garnet and black? Is that ever going to happen? No, it's never going to happen. That's reason number one why this statement does not use the word argue correctly. The second reason, we know which team is better. How do we know which team is better? They play each other every year. That's how you determine the better team, guys, right? Which team is better? Clemson, because they keep on whipping the Gamecocks. And that's how we know that Clemson is better than Carolina, right? So, what do people do when they talk about Carolina Clemson? They just talk about it. They yell and scream and voice their opinion, but this is not an argument, because Clemson fans aren't going to root for Carolina. Carolina fans aren't going to root for Clemson. Plus, you know the better team because they play each other. So this is not correct use of the word argue. Let's look at example B. My 18-year-old daughter argued with me when she broke curfew. So, as a parent, if I set curfew for midnight, we'll say midnight, right? And my daughter comes in at 12:01. What just happened? She broke curfew. Is there anything to argue about? No. Why is there not anything to argue about? Because curfew was what? Midnight. When did she come home? After midnight. There's nothing to argue. You can't say, oh, that's, the universe is moving too fast right now, Dad. Everything, it's really 12:55, Dad. It's not 12:01. 11:55, right? The universe, no. If you break curfew, you break curfew. Own it. There's nothing to argue about. Why? Because you came in after curfew. There's not an argument. You can fuss and scream and dig in your heels and jump up and down and yell about it, but you're not arguing because you broke curfew. And then example C. My cousin argued with me about why I should drink 2 shots of vodka each morning instead of coffee. Time out, cousin. I'm never going to drink vodka in the morning instead of my favorite beverage of coffee. It's never going to happen, right? You're never going to get me to share your point of view about getting liquored up in the morning. Plus, if you're getting liquored up in the morning, you're an alcoholic, right? If you're drinking vodka instead of coffee in the morning, you're an alcoholic. And there's nothing you can share with me that's going to convince me to embrace this pattern of behavior. Not going to happen. So is this a correct use of the word argue? No, it is not. Now, what I like about just laying the foundation here in these opening examples, most of the time when people use the word argue, how do they use it? They use it incorrectly. And this is one thing that I really like about teaching English, is most of the time when people use words, they use them wrong and end up looking really foolish. So please remember that when we use the word argue, what's the point? The whole purpose is to persuade one to share your point of view. So again, a lot of times when we use the word argue, we don't use it correctly.